everybody, it's Cheryl Alger from Illustrated by Cheryl and the owner of Sassy Cheryl's Digis. Today we're going to continue coloring this new image in my shop called A Penny for Your Thoughts with my character Sassy Sally and Bella. Last time we colored the skin, and if you'd like to follow along you can back up and do that tutorial first, or if you like you can start from right here. So today I'm going to color her hair and her bow and shorts and her shoes. So I don't know if everybody wants to see those particular things, but we're going to do the entire image in different tutorials. So we want all of her colored at the very end, so I'm just going to show you that as well. So I'm going to zoom in here so you can get a good look at her hair, and we're going to get started. So for this particular part of her, when I do her hair, most of the time I use E30. I'm still new at this, so y'all bear with me. E30 for her hair color, which is bisque, and you're also going to need 4 different colors: raw umber, basic white, and goldenrod, and dark brown. Now raw umber, I'm using a Faber Castel, but you can use a Prismacolor. They have that available as well. So it just depends on what you have and what you want to use. So first let's put the base coat in, that's what I call it, of her hair. And as I said before, I don't go directly to the edge or care if it's really filled in all the way, because I do go over the pencil, the marker with the Prismacolor pencils. So I'm just filling in her hair lightly here. A moment of silence there, sorry about that. But you can use whatever color you like for her hair. This is just particularly what I use, and you don't even have to color as a blonde little girl. You can color as a brunette, or if you like black. Blonde is my choice only because that's what I like. So after I get that filled in, I'm going to go in first with the goldenrod. And like I say, I'm not sure if Faber Castel has that. I've never really looked. I'm sure they probably have something similar, but this is just particularly what I use. So since I said in the first tutorial, the light is coming from this direction, so I'm going to fill in these areas here. Are going to be darker, a little bit in the creases of the folds of her hair, and up in here there probably won't be very much light in it at all. A little bit down in here. Oh, I forgot to do that. Excuse me. Okay. Alright, so first let's go in with the goldenrod, and I'm going to start from the back here, because that is going to be the darkest. And I'm not actually coloring. I said in the first video when I did her skin, I don't usually go in an up and down motion, but with this I do. I don't do circular motions much on the hair. It's more of a stroke kind of thing. And at the bottom, just continue to stroke. Just a little bit in here. And of course, since her bow is laying on the top of her head, it probably would be a little darker there. And like I say, I don't claim to be an expert on shading. I just put it where I think it goes. So, and down in here. And you have to excuse me because I usually rotate my illustration while I'm coloring it, and since that would make you a little bit dizzy, this is a little bit more difficult for me. So I'm going to pull a few strokes down in here, maybe 1 or 2 here. Now it might be a little darker there and underneath here, because that might be tucked behind her ear. And then I'm going to go in next with the raw umber, the Faber Castel raw umber, and again go over top in stroking motions. And I'm pushing a little bit harder when I do the second color, and just continually pull that down. And I'm sure if you've looked at the colored images on my site, Sassy Cheryl's Digis, Sally's hair is never the same as far as the coloring. I'm just more of a hit or miss type person. I do what suits what I feel like in that moment. So sometimes it's a little bit lighter, sometimes darker. Plus nobody's hair ever looks the same. But then I'm going to go in with the dark brown, and this is also a Prismacolor. And again, the stroking motions towards the top here. And this one, you are not going to have a lot of this color on her hair. This is more where it would be more of the shadows, and more towards the top. and maybe a little in here and underneath. And then finally, I'm going to go in with the white. We're not going to give her a frosted look, but if you put this white in there a little bit, it does give it a little lighter tone. And I'm going to correct this a little bit here with the Royal Umber. And maybe just a little bit darker on the back side of here. But it's more of a just fill in type thing. Because you can see here, this looks totally different than the one that I did for the example for the site, and it's going to be for sale soon in my Etsy store. So everybody's hair comes out different. Yours may not look just like mine, which is totally fine. You may want less darkness in there. It just depends on, you know, what your mood is like. So that's her hair. So now we're going to move on to her shorts and her bow, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit here so you can get a little bit closer look at that. And for this, for her shorts, I am using R29 Lipstick Red, one of my favorite colors of all times. I'm a big red fan, and everybody on my design team knows I love red and white polka dots. And I'm going to use Tuscan Red, which is a Prisma. The white again, Espresso, and I do believe Faber Castel has this as well, but I'm using the Prismacolor, and then a Cadmium Red, which I do know that Prisma has this as well, but this is just what I grabbed. So first off, again with the light shade, we're going to go in with the red. Make sure I get the right size tip here. And I'm going to color in her hair, her bow, excuse me. I'm looking at her hair. And I'm sure you know, but I'm saying this for people that are new, perhaps to Copics that are trying this for the first time. This marker is very unforgiving. So if you go outside the lines, you cannot use your, here it is. You cannot use your colorless blender to get that out. In fact, it will bleed further into your paper, which I have found and has really irritated me because I've had to start all over. But live and learn, trial and error. And her shorts, and I may go out a little bit here because, like I say, I usually do turn my illustration as I'm coloring. And everybody colors different with Copics. I just prefer to use a sweeping motion, except for at the edge. Don't want to sweep too far out. Okay, so now that we have her shorts and her bow, we are going to first go in with the Cadmium Red. Now this does not make a huge difference in the color. It's more of a fill-in. Sometimes with darker colors you do get streaks, and a lot of times I use it just to kind of give it a little extra stability to pick up the other blending colors. And I just lightly go over that, and I'm sure that you cannot see that very well because it's not a drastic change. Okay, then I'm going to use the Tuscan Red, and I'm going to color darker here. And most of this back part of her bow would be almost all dark because the sun is definitely not going to hit the back side of that. But like I say, it's wherever you feel like the shadows need to go. Okay, and a little bit here, and I am using the circular motions. Especially if you use a paper that has a lot of tooth to it, a lot of edgy to it or feel, it distributes the color a lot easier. And up and down strokes, it's too permanent. Plus you get lines. And of course inside the shorts and with the legs hiding the sun, these would definitely be a lot darker. So I am pretty much coloring those all the way in. Okay, and then I'm going to go back in with the Espresso, well, excuse me, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to go back in with my Cadmium red, because like I say, it does not change the color much, and I'm just going to blend that just a little bit. And you can see that it's changing a little. Let's see, so we're just going to continue to blend. And then finally we're going to go in with the Espresso and pick up the really dark highlighting areas, which would be mainly under her shorts and down towards the bottom near the grass. And back on this side. And then finally, I'm going to blend that just a little bit more with the Cadmium red. Not coming too far up on her shorts. And then lightly with the white, I just add a little texture like it would be the threads. Okay, and there you have her shorts. Now we're going to keep our Espresso and our white, because next we're going to color her little Mary Jane shoes. And we're going to be using both of those. For her shoes, first we're going to go in with the main part of her shoes, W5, which is warm gray. And I'm just going to stroke that in. Oop, I'm seeing that you're not seeing that very well, so let's turn that a little bit. Okay, and then next I'm going to go in with my C1, which is a cool gray, and do her soles. Okay, now once that is done, I'm going to go in, I'm going to need black as well. So for the shading on her shoes, we're going to use black, Espresso, and the white. So first I'm going to go with the Espresso, and lightly in circular motions we're going to do the back part of her shoe. And like I say, no right or wrong way, this is just how I do it. If you don't like it, continue what you're doing. I mean, it's not insulting to me. Everybody's different. Just a tad there. Sun's going to be hitting here, so we're not going to do a lot of shading there, and just right here at the crease. Now, I'm going to come back in with the black, a little bit darker on the back side. Down towards the bottom of the sole. And then finally I'm going to come in, and this is going to change it, the white, because it is going to lighten it, but it blends it as well. And if you want it a little darker, you can always go back in. It's easier to add than to take away. And if when you're coloring with pencils, whatever they are, depending on how much pressure you put, sometimes you get those little pieces of pencil and stuff. This kneading eraser, which I showed you in the last video, is absolutely great, because a lot of people, and I have found that I've done this before and it totally smears or messes up or something, but you can use this just to pick up those little things. Plus, if you haven't blended much, this thing is fantastic. It will erase. I chose a bad example with the black, but it's fantastic. Okay, and then finally, very, very lightly, because I use the Espresso as well, and you can see that it's almost like a brown. Very lightly colored the bottom of her soles and a little bit in there. So there you have it. That is the coloring of Sassy Sally's hair, her shorts, her bow, and her shoes. And this is the image, A Penny for Your Thoughts, and it's available in my Sassy Cheryl's Digi shop, and I hope you'll check that out and come along with us for the next one. And the next thing we're going to do, and this one will be a little bit longer tutorial probably, probably do Bella and her shirt, but we'll see. So I'll see you next time.